Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm hoping my videos are reaching those who are going through similar grief as I am. And in this video, I'd like to share more of what my journey looked like. In my last video, I remember sharing about the beginning of the school year and how difficult it was for us as a family. I have to say though, the community came together after Eliana passed. It's like we were being carried on a cloud. People came together in a way they normally wouldn't. Many people were calling us and checking in, and we didn't feel alone. I must say it was very comforting. People came together to bring food for the wake and after the funeral. I think it's their way of saying, we're here for you. I remember a friend of mine who brought backpacks for both kids, backpacks and school supplies. One lady bought a big bag of clothes, gently used clothes, for Jess and Daniel for the upcoming school year. And when we were in hospital, friends cleaned our house. Everybody was doing what they could. They all wanted to do something. My mum was by my side also, which comforted me. And my sister called often to help support me, which made me feel less alone. Dan's friends had been a help too. They had been wonderful during the process of his grief. He has several friends, and they were overall very concerned for his well-being. They would listen to him if needed, if he needed someone to talk to, and they would call him often, which is wonderful. They were all supportive with one another, and they were like family. We were very blessed to have such caring and supportive people around us during that time. However, as the weeks rolled on, I began to notice there was a little shift, which I understand is common. After the funeral's over, people go about their own lives, their own daily routines, and we are still carrying the heavy loss of our daughter, which can be very painful. Maybe some people thought that we needed space and didn't want to intrude. The minister who was in charge of the funeral service told us that he lost a teenage daughter many, many years ago, and that he told us after the funeral's over, people will go about their own lives. And he's right. I do think this is very common, but people don't really want to talk about this. However, I do believe that those who are meant to be part of our journeys stay with us. And those who disappear into the shadows are not meant to be on the journey with us. I remember many parents at the school who I would pass by as I was walking to school would have a big smile on their face, and they would say, "Hi, how are you?" I didn't know what to say to that. I was broken on the inside. I didn't want to say, "Oh, I'm good," or "I'm wonderful." I mean, why should I say that? That's not how I felt. At some point in our lives, we all experience death. Although the death of a child is so unfathomable that I believe people just don't know how to react. I remember at the funeral, several people asked me to call them if we needed anything. And I really know they truly meant it. But should it be the other way around? We're going through enough grief. Shouldn't they be calling us? Shouldn't they be calling me? It's hard enough to wake up to the pain every day of having lost a child. I remember a couple of the mourners at the funeral offered to have Jessica over to play and to give me some time to myself if needed, but nothing materialized. And it was already, I believe, December, beginning of December. I feel that parents need to be a little more attentive to the circumstances because I felt really angry and very disappointed. There were so many meaningful words that were spoken at the funeral, but many which had hardly come to fruition later on. It seemed to me that many of these spoken words were just empty vessels. Saying something is one thing, but actually following through with this is another. Poor Jessica had lost her big sister, and I was really upset that these people didn't bother to reach out. On the brighter side, though, Jessica had other friends who we met up with, thank goodness. I also sensed that Jessica was strong underneath to cope with the initial loss of her sister, so I was very grateful for that. I am blessed to have my sister Mandy by my side. She gave me comfort and hope during those dark days as we spoke about the soul and spiritual wisdom growing within us. I learned so much from her at the time, and we shared this wonderful bond, which is still ongoing today. My mother helped me during the early days too, and we spent a couple of hours on the phone, both expressing our grief and crying tears of sadness. My mother tried in her own way to comfort me in those long, sad hours at the very beginning of the journey. I did have several good friends who walked beside me, and we would talk about Eliana and all the signs she would be giving us and the energy that I had experienced, and they had experienced too. I had to talk about Eliana. I just had to, and I could never forget her. Why would I? In my heart and mind, she still exists, even to this day. I also had the opportunity to meet some of the parents from Daniel's class for coffee. We would talk of Eliana, and I would share my spiritual experiences with them, which would enlighten and inspire them also, and in turn would help me bear my heavy loss. It was important to continue talking about Eliana, and I appreciate them listening to me. Like I said before in my video, grief is so complex, and we go through so many different kinds of emotions. Looking back, I don't know how I managed to get through it, although I'm still going through it, but my grief is different now. I appreciate everybody listening. If you're going through grief, like I said before, it's one day at a time. And please be kind to yourselves. That's very important. God bless.